Zes.
Yes.
Zes means hello.
It's
In a cool
technically
way.
servus.
Yeah, which comes from the Latin term servi, which means slave.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun. But so the word is servus. But in Austria, they just are lazy and like to get rid of every third letter in words. And so they're like, says.
So spelled
S-E-A-S.
S-E-A-S.
Like C's. Oh my.
Hey,
Why are you barking?
hey. There's nothing. Hey.
Oh, maybe because you said says.
Oh, that could be. She responds to those words.
Yeah. She thinks
We're
someone's
back,
here.
everybody.
We're back.
Currently, are we still in London?
Yeah, because
we're
this
still in
comes out
London.
the first Friday that we're in London.
We're
2
still in
days,
London.
the second
Also,
day.
it was our birthday on the 31st.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
So 2 days ago. So you can still wish us.
From when you're listening to this.
Yeah.
When
If
we're
you're
not
listening.
recording this in London.
If you listen on the Friday
Yeah.
when it came out. Otherwise,
Yeah.
fuck you. No, but if you want to, congratulate us, or me especially, then...
Why you especially? We have
Because
the same
I'm older.
birthday.
I'm older.
They should congratulate me for making it
No.
this long in your presence.
Yeah. With those steep stairs, people fall down and
Yeah.
break their necks and die.
Without the knowledge of where we're staying in London, you're screwed. So you have
I
no
could
idea
figure it
where we're
out.
staying.
I could figure it out.
You couldn't.
So, but we are right now in London, so you can probably look at our Instagram and look what we are up
Yeah.
to right now.
Depending on when you listen to this, we'll be at Harry Potter World because
Harry Potter.
Friday
I'm going to see Harry Potter.
the 2nd of September will be in Harry Potter
see
World.
Harry
So if you're
Potter.
listening to this on Friday the 2nd of
telling.
September, you'll be at Harry Potter World.
Harry Potter. I'm going to be in Harry Potter world, you say. I'm going to be in Harry Potter world. I'm going to not watch Harry Potter.
Maybe I
on
should
the
go to Harry
television.
Potter World alone.
Ooh! Harry Potter.
Ron.
So,
Ron Weasley.
but, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, which was a little more serious in terms of the topic, but I think important, you should, because I think it's a good one. Might be a little long, like 30 to 40 minutes, but it's
It's not that
worth
long.
it, I think.
Okay.
And today
it is that long, but
Yeah.
I
But
don't
it's
think
worth
that
it.
that's that long.
But this one will be a little shorter because
Will
I
it?
don't give a fuck. I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying that.
I wouldn't promise that yet.
But I watched a video today
Porn?
from Van Neistat, the brother of Casey Neistat. If you don't know who Casey Neistat is, or the Neistat brothers, go look it up.
Are you even real if you don't know who Casey Neistat is?
But so I watched a video
Maybe you
today,
just have a life.
and he said something very, I wouldn't say, I mean, it's kind of profound, I would say. So he said, nostalgia is the license to surrender to a meaningful experience in our future. And then I thought, like, we could talk about nostalgia and what it means to us, and also what it means in terms of having it, and just to quickly define the word nostalgia, because I like it. It's a sentimental longing or a wistful affection for a period in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be nostalgic about the future, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't happened yet, because it's the future. Science.
Unless you're Doctor Who.
Yeah, unless you can travel. Sure. But so when I recently got a tattoo, and a lot of people ask me what the tattoo is about. And it's essentially the helmet of the Master Chief from like the main character of Halo, a game that I liked to play, grew up on playing. Read a lot of books, watched shows, movies, stuff, So when I explain, just simply saying, hey, this, when people ask me what is it, I say it's from like a game, just plain and simple. They often look at me weird.
They look at you like you're a nerd.
Right. Right. Or with that look, like, why would you get a tattoo from like a game?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't make any sense to them.
I mean, it's the same as like if people get like some sort of brand tattooed on them, you know, I think that's also a typical response, or a similar response where it's like, why would you do that? Because, you know, like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You're branding yourself with like a product, technically.
I mean, that's what Halo is too, technically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But to me, it's the reminder of this very meaningful and happy past and those very nostalgic moments. And that's why I got the tattoo. That's what I connect to that game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's currently my favorite tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just looks badass. And a lot of people ask me about it. No. But
I think that's the same for me. My current favorite tattoo, and it might surpass all of my tattoos forever, is my grandma's name.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so small, but it's always there, you know. And like every time I shower or change, or you know, because it's right on my collarbone, it's right there. So I see it, you know, and I see her name, and that's also very nostalgic for me. That brings back a lot of nostalgic, nice memories.
Just want to explain why I asked poop is because Danielle takes off her shirt when she's pooping. I don't know why.
Doesn't everybody?
Nope. I already told you that. No, just kidding.
Yeah, but that's only because I shit from my mouth. I don't want it to get on my shirt.
Currently, she's talking with her anus. She's like,
I don't know if you noticed, but we have asses where our faces should be. What? It's a great South Park episode if you've not seen it.
But let's go back to nostalgia. So I think everybody has that memory of something very, maybe not even profound, but something very important to them that they instantly either think of if you ask them about a nostalgic moment, or if a show comes on, a song comes on,
or
if
just
they
a
smell, if they drive through like an old neighborhood or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think nostalgia is something very interesting because nostalgia, I think, just 100% reminds us of a very good time. That's the definition of it.
I would, yeah.
So it basically just is a very, very, if you break it down what it is, it's just a very positive and meaningful memory or moment in your life, which you can reflect or think upon in the future. That's what the quote from Van Neistat said. But what's so interesting to me is that it shows that how, you know, a nostalgic thing can be a moment, but it can also be a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows that we tend to forget the bad things that might have happened during that period of time. Unless there were significant traumas or something like that, obviously. But, you know, if you think of maybe some people think of their elementary school time of nostalgic, you know, or the summers during school, the way they visited camp or whatever, you know. And those summers weren't always good. There were bad days. There were things that happened that weren't that good.
Yeah.
Even like really horrible things. But you tend to don't think about that when you think of those nostalgic moments. And I think that's just a great reminder of, if something's bad happening to you, and again, I'm not talking about a traumatic event or something very significant that can change your life, alter your life, whatever, then maybe we should just take a step back and say, hey, does that really matter in like a week, a year, or even 10 years, you know? And 99% it doesn't. It's just a small thing compared to the time that passes, and you just tend to forget about it. And I think a big reason why a lot of us have nostalgic things that, remind us of our past in terms of childhood or like young adulthood is because we were much freer of those sorrows that we carry around.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's my belief. As we tend to get older, we obviously see the world in a different light a little bit, and we learn about more shit that's going on, and we see more shit that's going on because we are not treated as kids anymore. We're treated as adults, and we just tend to carry around more shit. Hence why maybe those nostalgic moments are not as common anymore in
I wouldn't
like
necessarily
our age. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm not 60. Maybe I'm looking back. I mean, I could see that actually happening. Like that moment right now. And it could be a nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think nostalgia is... I had a thought that I wanted to...
Maybe if you just think of like a nostalgic moment in your past, what comes up? What is
the
like
first thing that
something-
comes to my head is my grandma. Because
is
I
there
just
like a
think
specific
of...
moment that you have in your head? Or a period?
I mean, working with her in her garden is very nostalgic to me. So like working in her herb garden or working in the vegetable garden,
Oh, they planted. Didn't you your integrity weed?
No. No, but
Garden.
she would always give me like advice when I was a kid. Like she would always just tell me things when I was a kid when we were working in the garden. And, I remember she would say things to me as like a 5-year-old kid saying, women can do whatever they want, just like these really powerful things to tell a 5-year-old. And
Did she ever tell you to not sit naked in the sand?
probably.
Yeah. It's not profound, but it's a very useful thing to
I
know.
mean, she probably did. We grew up on a farm, basically, so there's dirt and sand.
You don't want to
and
get sand
shit
in your
anyway.
vagina.
No, you don't.
No,
It's not
you really
pleasant.
don't.
It's not
And
pleasant.
I tell you from, experience.
Your experience.
Yeah. I had sand in my vagina a couple of times. No, sorry, keep going.
No, but that's when I think of nostalgia, she's the first thing that comes to my mind always. And for me, Austria is very special because I feel her here almost daily.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it is because to my knowledge, she never traveled to Austria and there are no Austrian roots on that side of the family. It's Irish. But I don't know. There was something, or Scottish even, but there was just something. There's something about this place that I know she would love so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost on a daily basis, I'm like, I think of her.
That's kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly, like my strongest nostalgic moment is because I share them with people. Are the like the LAN parties? The nights of just having fun with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, I have a lot of those too.
it might. I mean, it's nerdy, obviously, but it's so cool to share those moments and those memories with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk with friends, they all have the same feeling about it. You know, nobody says, "Oh yeah, that was okay." Everybody just all of a sudden lights up and just talks of those nights of, and we didn't do anything. We just sat in front of TVs and played together games the whole night. That's it. But the way we did it, and it was so special back then because online gaming wasn't a thing or not as big. Yeah, so that was the only time where more people came together and actually just dove into a game and just had tons of fun. And those moments I always compare to just, you know, the times where you actually know that you don't have any problems in the grand scheme of things, you know, nothing to worry about in terms of, oh, I have to pay the bills, I have to go get an operation, whatever, you know, nothing that, like, pure joy. It's just pure joy. That's so nice.
But that's the thing about nostalgia, is that I think that there are, I mean, I know that there are those memories that you think of instantly. When somebody says the word nostalgia, you're immediately like brought back to something. But I almost appreciate nostalgia more when it's unexpected. Like,
I agree.
When someone just says something and all of a sudden this random memory is triggered, where it's like, that was a really nice time, or like that was something that was like so funny that happened in your life that somehow you forgot until this point. And something just triggers it, where all of a sudden it's clear as day, where it's something you maybe didn't think about for 15 years. And now all of a sudden it's like, you remember it as if it was yesterday.
Yeah. And also,
that for me is something that's really cool.
It's weird because it also shows you that those moments are always the tiny moments. Most of the time, the nostalgic things are not big happenings, you know. It's just the tiny things, the human connections, the little things that make those, just the moment itself, being with someone or being somewhere at a certain time, at a certain moment, just makes the whole thing so profound. And it's interesting if you think about it, because I think back and I had crazy things happening to me, but those things don't stand out. Sure, if someone tells me or asks me, hey, what was your, I don't know, most or biggest concert, there are some, and there are some that stand out, but I wouldn't consider that as meaningful as the nostalgic moments. And they were never, at least for my part, they were never somewhere where something massive was happening. Yeah. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
I read something that I thought was interesting. I have to find it again quickly.
It's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because you said smell earlier.
Yeah, there are smells that I have that remind me of places that I loved when I was a kid. Smells
and
sounds.
For me, it's music. It's certain songs.
Sure. I mean, I think everybody has that.
And that there's a song called... what is it called? Into the Fire from 13 Cents. It's like a indie pop band from England, I think. We're pretty big, and they kind of tried to do what Coldplay did a little bit. But I loved them. I used to listen to them a lot. And when we were in America, I listened to them. There was like a period where I listened to them a lot. And I remember the last day when we drove away from Milwaukee to Chicago, I listened to that specific song, and when I listened to that specific song, it just brings me back to exactly the moment. And I see myself sitting in the school bus we rented, listening to that song, looking out of the window, driving out of like the suburbs onto the highway towards Chicago. It's so weird, and it's not a super happy memory, but it's also not a bad memory, because so many cool things happened, and I was so appreciative of being there. You know. Yeah.
I read something interesting. Nostalgia was originally thought of as a disease.
Wow.
It says something similar to nostalgia was described during the 30 Years' War, when several soldiers were discharged from the Spanish Army of Flanders.
What a Flanders?
What?
What a Flanders?
The Spanish Army of Flanders. It's like the army.
Okay.
I guess he was a lieutenant, or I don't know.
Ned Flanders.
They were discharged with El Mal de Corazon, which was, corazon is heart. which was actually deemed a disease that became heavily associated with soldiers who became vulnerable to attack when they heard a certain Swiss milking song.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, to me, that seems less like nostalgia and more like a Pavlovian response. But they apparently describe something that would now be considered what nostalgia is.
I mean, it goes in that direction. You're
sure?
triggered, your memory is triggered by a song. And it could also be that, you know, they were babies or small children playing around their mothers while they sang that song. The mother sang that song and milked the cows. Stuff like that.
And we get distracted and...
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting.
I mean, it's the same with sometimes smells or songs. In general, you hear something or smell something and you're having this feeling of not like necessarily a deja vu or something, but like...
That'd be another fun topic, deja vu.
That's true. But basically like a nostalgic feeling, but you can't pinpoint it. You know, you can't pinpoint where or what it was.
Yeah.
That's also interesting.
But it's interesting for me. A lot of the smell associations that I have or sound associations all have to do with the farm where my grandparents lived. It's so interesting because I spent so much of my childhood there and I have so many good memories there that it's just like the sound of driving on gravel. Like that sound instantly takes me back there. And I guarantee you, if I asked my brother to think about driving on gravel, what it would remind him of, and 1,000% he would say the long drive from, because it was like about a half a mile long drive up the driveway to their farm.
Yeah. It's weird when you describe it. I can see it.
Yeah.
It's weird. I can see it because it has been portrayed in so many movies before. And it's so stereotypical, but it's just how it is.
That's how it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there something else? Because otherwise we can just cut it. You know?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I would be interested. I was trying to find something quickly, but I couldn't find something, the thing that I was looking for. But I am very, very interested in how the brain works. And
the brain works.
And
you know, Daniel, your brain doesn't work.
Most of the time lately it doesn't. But I would be very interested to know like exactly what happens in the brain when you get those nostalgic
I don't think
moments.
that's really known.
Yeah.
Oh,
I the thing is I couldn't find something that was like short enough that I could quickly say, but there are a lot of things that go on in the brain and a lot of things that are triggered in the brain, a lot of areas that light up that I think that stuff is so fascinating.
It is fascinating, yeah. But again, going just quickly, making it full circle, I think to me that nostalgia just shows that a lot of sorrows, a lot of pain, a lot of heartache, a lot of things that we think are big or make them bigger than they seem are not as big, and maybe we should try to not give them as much weight.
I mean, I think it also totally goes along with that is it goes to show how like what's really important in life.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think this all the time. I say it a lot that if we could be more like kids, just in terms of our thinking, in terms of like, you know, because I'll see a kid walking down the street with his parents and he's just singing at the top of his lungs because he feels like singing. And it's like, why don't we still do things like that?
Yeah,
how joyful is that? That's so joyful to just be like, I feel like singing, so I'm going to sing. If you did it as an adult, people would look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
That's like, but why?
Yeah,
why can't we experience these joys that children experience the world in the way that children experience it with the knowledge that we have of the world? It makes me sad that we don't do things like that.
Not to go into that too deep, but I think a lot of it's because those things are not accepted.
But that's the thing. Why? Why
because those are
they?
Behaviors that are not, typical of an adult.
But they should be, is my point.
I agree. There should not be if you're decent
if you feel
human being,
happy, you can just
If you don't
be
hurt
happy
anybody with
and-
that, why not dance around the street?
I mean, I think it's if I were to see an adult just like singing, walking down the street, that would make me so happy to see.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Please rate the podcast, subscribe, follow us, and hit us up on our Instagram. And if you want to know, wow, that was a big slurp. And
Hot chocolate.
you can totally tell us what you think about the podcast. We love to talk to you, and that's it.
Watch out for deer.
Woo!